Hey everyone, my name is Colin Fazio, and this will be my final sales project reflection. So, a little starting off summary of what this entire project was is we had to find 30 prospects who would be willing to potentially donate to Scouting America's Trailblazer program. These prospects are people we either knew or potential people we found through LinkedIn filters, such as WVU alumni, have experience working with disabled children or a connection with Scouting America. Personally, I have a lot of people in my life who do have those connections. A lot of my prospects were family, friends, family even, and through this project, I was very lucky enough to know a lot of people who will be donating to this event. So, a little introductory. Most of my prospects, like I said, I already knew. I had a connection with them growing up. And even if I didn't, I still know ways now to find people um, through LinkedIn, Zoom info. I really know how to use the filters on that website that I didn't even know were there, to be fully honest. Um, and working over time with this project and being hands-on. Um, Mostly on how to make this work was a bit challenging at first, sort of throwing that idea out there. Um, but going in for it, jumping into, this project really helped me succeed in raising money. So with the phone calls, I'll say this again later in the video, but I believe that pre-call planning honestly is the most important thing. Um, whether you're face to face or not, people can tell if you're reading off a script, whether it's your tone of voice, the way you're holding yourself. Um, And I believe that knowing who you're talking to and especially what you're talking about is the most important thing. I'll talk again about this in later in the video, but while I was at Megacorp, trying to make my first phone call and, shadowing the people over there, I realized that dang, maybe I don't know that much about this, and maybe I can't answer every question possible, which, people might throw the most wild questions at you, but you should still be able to answer with confidence at the end of the day. With the phone calls, I made a total of six. I was very lucky enough to have six donations, so I did go 6 for 6. And at the end of my journey, I wish I did more. I kind of saw this as practice for the real world, and um, yeah, I like I said, and I'm going to say it again, that pre-call planning, knowing what you're talking about, know who you're talking to, is honestly very important in finding that connection to later yourself and, getting a donation or selling a service down the road. So, like I just said, my Megacorp visit was my day one. That's the first call I made. I was pretty nervous about calling people. I feel like most people are going into cold calls. So I honestly was probably the best thing to see for this project. Megacorp really helped work side by side on this with us, and you know, working with someone who is hands-on for their entire career was such an amazing and helpful experience. The person I shadowed really set me up for success. We went over my script. We went over, the type of person that I would be calling. Um, my prospect going into that Megacorp visit was an elderly lady, and he was just talking about how most telemarketers or salespeople that's kind of their first look sometimes is, the older group or older citizens. Um, but he really helped me lock it down, and I went in there knowing pretty much nothing about cold calling. Um, and then later that day, I walked out with $100 donation as my very first one. So very lucky, and it was a great visit. So to go into my final amount raised for this project, we were given a quota of $350. Luckily, with all the tools I was given inside and outside of class with Megacorp or the book we're reading in class or, just Dr. Brower himself, I was able to total $600. That is 171% of the quota. And yeah, with with everything going on, it was a lot, but this was such a cool experience seeing um, how many opportunities can come out of this project, and that's what I'm about to talk about. Um, in my important takeaways, like I just said, the amount of opportunities that can come from this. I mentioned it to one of my cousins, and she is a sales manager up in New York, and now there is a chance I will be working with her straight out of college. She is the manager for Google Translate. She looks over, putting that Google Translate into other apps, whatever. It's not part of the project, but um, you know, I wasn't really expecting an opportunity out of this project, and it's so cool that I now have one. But like I said before, pre-call planning is number one for me. I truly believe that even over the phone, people can tell whether or not you're reading off a script or you don't have their full attention because you're trying to, you know, mark off every tally. And then third would be consideration for these children. Believe in what you're selling and believe in not only yourself, but that there is that connection there between you and the person you're talking to and this project. So thank you for listening. If you need to contact me, my email is caf00018 at mix.wvu.edu. I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your days. Thank you.